You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Rope Break.
And if you hear the excitement, you feel the intensity, is because we're covering the best show in the world. NXT UK, you see Jean-Paul PlayStation, the old traditional shirt, great console, every single thing that happened on PlayStation. Brings me back to my childhood. Legit stuff. How is every single one of you? We hope that you're doing great. We're going to talk about this great show. We actually had a great Heritage Cup Championship match. AK Tyler Bate. Really cool stuff. Also, at the beginning, we have a really great match with Rampage Brown and also with Wolfgang. So we're going to be talking about everything. What do you think about the show, Paul?
Yeah, like you said it perfectly. Thursday, we're excited. We're pumped up. We got the best wrestling show, NXT UK. We have Dark Side of the Ring later tonight. Great series. So, how can you not be excited for Thursdays? And, this was a really solid show. It was, the main event was really good, really sold you on it. And we got some build for the next couple weeks. And that's what you need. We don't want to, like a Raw and a Smackdown, you really almost don't know what's going on until a day or two before the show, and they go, oh, yeah, this is what we're going to give you. This show, at least long-term books, it gives you stuff to look forward to, not just for the following week, but for 2, 3, 4 weeks out, you go, okay, I know what I'm looking forward to. And this was a fantastic show.
Yeah, and, the only thing we didn't see from the champion either,
Walter, to me, like I said, he's on every milk carton across America and the UK. Like, nobody knows where Walter is, so.
Where is he having those some meetings from? What's going on with that? Thank you so very much for being with us, for the subscriptions, for the love that you give us with the channel. If you want to see the other side of the coin, you're going to see us pissed off, disappointed, like in the border of like doing something bad to us because of like these 2 hours of absolutely terrible booking. He said it the best on the video. The talent is there, the booking is just bad. AEW Dynamite. The Inner Circle says yes, 1,000 times yes to the match at Stadium Stampede against the Pinnacle because they know they're going to win. We know they're going to win. Everybody in the world knows that they're going to win. So why are they having this match?
Yeah, to sell tickets, I guess, to their fans that will, they'll buy Tony Khan's crap on a plate if he serves it to them. I don't know, but a lot, like we said a lot of these matches at Double or Nothing, we're not really looking forward to, and that's usually, not the normal for AEW. Normally, a pay-per-view is okay, we get excited, they at least build the big matches for the pay-per-view. A lot of this stuff we really don't want to see, like, we're going to see, a sit down between Anthony Ogogo and Cody Rhodes. Nobody cares. The weigh-in and all that. Week, yes. Nobody cares about that stuff. And like we said, the whole championship match, Omega, Pac, Orange Cassidy, that doesn't feel championship match to me. That doesn't feel special. We are going to see some good stuff. Hangman Adam Page and Brian Cage, yes. And Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida. But besides those two matches, nothing
everything else is
really
very predictable, like you said, and they always have to put everybody in the show.
And in our opinion, the worst match, or one of the worst matches, the two hoodlums, Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley against the Young Bucks.
Again, and we will keep saying, the best tag team in the world. Well, with two weeks in, 2 weeks in, they just became the greatest tag team in the world. I don't know how they do that, but, Gallus is whatever crap, they're going to have on June 2nd, that the 50, like the top, the countdown of the 50, like tag teams in the world, they're probably going to beat that. Of all time. So because it's Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, but thank you, family. Don't forget to check that out. So, Paul, really quick, this is like, fresh off the oven. Breaking news. Velveteen Dream has been released from his WWE contract. Unfortunately, those allegations, he was never able to recover from that. Every time he was trying to have a match, the whole world internet, the whole Raw Break, family was like, just get rid of this guy. He sucks, he's a pedophile, all of that. What are your thoughts on this? Did they make the right move? I guess.
Is anybody really surprised by this? He wasn't on TV for how many months? They had no plans for him. We already said the roster's so loaded. We're like, where's LA Knight? Where's this guy? Where you got to push Cameron Grimes. You got to push there's so many guys right now and women, just on the whole roster that, aren't really being featured when they should be. So it doesn't surprise me that people like this get cut. And,
exactly.
Especially with all the allegations, it's like they almost are waiting for an excuse to cut some people. And as soon as they give them a reason, they get them out of there.
And that's like any single job. So, good luck in your future endeavors, Velveteen Dream. You had a lot of momentum.
AEW.
Yeah, and it will be Dream Velveteen, something like that. It will just be like, that's okay, gimmick changes or a completely new, different guy. So now let's switch gears to like NXT UK. Rampage Brown against Wolfgang, really good match. Why? Because it's stiff. These two guys are like really colossal. It's not Bronson Reed, but like they're as big as he is, as powerful as he could ever been. So this is gonna be really brutal, and that's what they gave us. Even to the point that both of them got injured. In between the match. You see like the effects of it, like because they really went at it, and it kind of shows that Wolfgang as a singles person could have a run. Also, because he has the caliber. Unfortunately, because of coffee and everything, he's just being sidelined to just be attacked with the other coffee. So, what did you think about this match?
Yeah, I liked it, and that's a good point because early on in NXT UK, when they in the early years before he joined Gallows, Wolfgang was like a singles competitor. So I mean, he can hold his own. This was really good. The main story here was Rampage Brown, the ribs. That he kept going after the ribs, whether it was the big splash off the top, off the top rope onto him, or the spear, or whatever. It was just he kept going after the ribs, and it almost made Rampage Brown look a little vulnerable in here. And like they said, how is he going to react? His first match or first big match? I actually think it is his first match since losing to Walter, at Heritage. Not Heritage. What was it? Prelude.
Yeah, the Prelude. Yeah, NXT Prelude, yes.
Yeah, so they're like, they want to see how Rampage he did. And I didn't like how it was like, oh, where's Joe Coffey last week? And he's like, oh, he's not here, but you can have a match with me. And then this week he's standing there.
Yeah.
I would have been like, well, then I don't want you if he's here.
Yes,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? But I mean, they did the match anyway, and it was really good. Like you said, two guys beating the hell out of each other. It was stiff. It was a great way to open the show. A lot of excitement. But of course, we got the right outcome, the right winner. Dr. Bomb 1, 2, 3. Rampage Brown wins after a hard fought match. And this, like I say, it's the right winner. It's good, and you know what it's leading to, especially when we saw the segment backstage a little later on in the show. We know it's leading to the rematch between Joe Coffey and Rampage Brown.
Exactly. So, like we said, Rampage Brown gets the win. You see, like, both of them injured. Like we said, the arm, see, like, a little, like, down, holding it because it was really stiff. Look at Wolfgang. So, I used to be legit. But, like, you want to talk about that segment? Feign. Because they don't say fine. They say feign. All right, so feign. Let's talk about this. Rampage is still, both of them. You see, like on the sides of like Joe Coffey. I'm gonna wait till you healed up. Feign. Let's wait till I give you tame. There's not time. It's just tame. So you see, like maybe in a few weeks they're gonna have this match. And in this one, I think, well, what is your predictions? Maybe Coffey goes over this time once again on the Rampage Brown gets the win, and then maybe Walter one more time.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say if any of them wins. Are they going to be able to go against the champion? Is he actually going to show up?
Where's the champion?
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would. It's hard to say because I don't know if, to me, Rampage, nothing against Joe Coffey because he's badass. But again, he still has a little bit tainted. He still had the allegations, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we saw what they did with someone who was suffering some allegations in the main event, how they rewarded him. But, I don't know. Rampage Brown should have been the champ. To me, it should have been Dragunov. Dragunov would have been that story. That would have been legit. They built that match so good. Okay, you didn't do it. You want to tell the redemption story or something, whatever, fine. And then, okay, should have been Rampage Brown. But then you didn't do that. So, I would choose Rampage Brown over Joe Coffey.
Yeah.
Because you can't do like the 50-50. Like, you really got to push one guy. So, I don't know.
Yes.
But But I am looking forward to the match. It will be good. Whoever wins, I'm excited to see what they do with him.
It was gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and I think that like the one thing is we need the champion there. That's unfortunately like Walter like going to NXT America like completely damaged the image of that championship.
Now if Walter was like going to all places like Germany, wherever, France, all over the UK, whatever. And like we saw, here he was wrestling in this promotion and he beat their top guy, blah, blah, blah. If we saw stuff and he's wrestling, he's touring, he's saying, I'm the NXT UK champion and he's building that brand worldwide, then we would be like, okay. But we haven't heard anything. We don't know where he is.
Yes,
or what he's doing. So that's the problem.
Exactly, that's true. That's what it is. So that's what we have. So we're gonna see what they have to give us next week something when it comes to the NXT UK Championship. That's the main title. They feature everything else, so they need to do something with it. Tell me a little bit about this Theo Man promo. Talking to one of the guys of NXT, and he says, like he just got a child, but that was a year ago, and he just says, hey man, fatherhood changed me and all of that. But like then Theo Man shows up, is like family's everything, and it's like, oh, congratulations on your child. Well, that was a year ago, man. So you see a potential feud in between the two, because he's just taunting him. He's just making fun of him. Very subtle, but you see the feud in between these two guys, and something for Theo Man to do. The guy is good, he's been presented great. He's been submitting, and he may submit one of his guys, right, Paul? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, this is good, and it is Ashton Smith. So
Yes, Ashton Smith. Yeah,
and no problem. And it's going to be a good feud, I think, because Ashton Smith is really good. He looked good, and I forget his tag partner's name, but he looked really good when they had that like 4-way tag match a few weeks ago. They looked really good in that, and I'm excited. I
think
to
it's
see
Levi, right? Levi Moore. Yeah, I think it's Levi. I think.
No, I don't think it was him. It was I forget who, but too many names. But this is he was really good. Ashton Smith. So I'm excited to see what he can do against Tio Man, and it's good. Like we said, this is how you kind of keep the guys fresh and interesting. Where like we don't see them every single week. Now it's like, oh, why are you complaining about Walter? Because it's we see him every other week, or okay, maybe there's 2 weeks off, and then we see him again. Okay, not a month off. So this is a good mid-card feud. I just I don't want to say I wish these guys had too much more to fight for, because you don't want to have like 1,000 titles like WWE main roster. But this is good. I want to see if this feud actually turns into something, or if it's just going to be like a one-off match and then just Tio Man goes over and then done.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they do, but like at least like you said, like it's Smith and Tio Man. It's like there's a potential something that they can actually go and challenge for the Heritage Cup, at least, because that seems to me like the mid-card title. So we'll see what they do, but like at least Tio Man is keep getting like more opponents so that he can stay relevant. So that's good. And the one thing also to say, you did say people will complain about Walter. It's been more than a month. Last time we saw Walter in NXT UK was on some Prelude. It's more than a month already. So where the hell is him? Oh yeah, you guys can see him in NXT UK. He's not a champion in NXT UK. In NXT. He's the champion in NXT UK. He needs to be in his own show. At least that's for us.
Yeah, and he wasn't. And like you said, the last appearance actually, like, because I don't count him being on the little tablet for the Zoom call, whatever, that doesn't count. His last thing was actually in Prelude, because the match the night before was a stand and deliver. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's been a month, and so in a few more days, so that he's been absent. So is he injured? There's no reports or anything. So like at least it will be cool if we can get an update from the champion. So we'll always get updates talking about that. There you go, Eva Valkyrie. Remember last time we saw her, she lost to Meiko Satomura. So you see a really nice package about her, learning about the failures. Now she knows that like failure is also like a part of success. So you see her like running, cutting trees, going around, and all of that. She falls in she's running in this forest. She falls into it. So really cool stuff. And then she says that she's finally ready. She was looking more within rather than focus on the outside, and now she's ready to be herself. And she's learned that she's ready to fly finally. So did you like this? I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it, because it's exactly what we've been saying here on the channel, where it's like once she loses, it's like the weight off her shoulders. She said nobody can tell a bird how high they can fly, and like even that was symbolic. Like when she was running, she fell, and she could have fell and just laid there and been like, so, but no, she got up, wiped herself off, and kept running. And that's pretty much like with Meiko. Yeah, I lost, I fell, I stumbled. But as long as you get up and you keep running, nobody can tell you how far you can run, how far you can fly, like she said. So this was a good promo. She's definitely going to be the UK Women's Champ at some point. I wouldn't say, maybe after, then Satomura, then to her. No, I don't know. But, she has a great future, whether it's on this brand, whether it's on, NXT, the main show, hell, maybe even the main roster. You know what I mean? If this girl, she's really talented, she has the character and, the gimmick and all that stuff, because you don't want to say character. You always want to be like, she's just portraying, herself, but a little more exaggerated, whatever. So you don't really want to say character, but you know what I'm talking about. She does good, and, I'm excited to see where they go from here. Maybe a few with her and Isla Dawn. They both kind of have these, like, supernatural kind of gimmicky kind of things.
Witchcraft things. Yeah, I agree. Let's do it. I want to see it. And like you said, you remind me of Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again. So Eva Valkyrie, legit stuff. Let's talk now to Amel. Remember Amel? Last time we saw her, she wanted to have a match. She wanted to be inserted in the Gauntlet match. Ciscala said, "No, girl. You jump people. We're not going to be AEW here. We don't reward your laziness. All right, we're not Tony Khan here. None of that. We're not Robert Stone. You're just gonna fight next time Xia Brooks that is ready. You're gonna fight, her. So you see this match, and of course they had to promote. They're gonna give Amel the win. Why? Because she's trying to establish herself as a heel. So that was good. Xia Brookside gave a good match. She wasn't all like happy dovey, oh yeah, bubbly personality, all of that. She wanted to get revenge because she took away that opportunity in the Gauntlet match. So what did you think, though? I like it. I think Amel has, maybe a few more months, years to just improve herself in the ability, but like despite that, the character is there. So I was okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. Amel, as I'm watching this, it's like Xia Brookside comes out. I'm thinking, don't be all smiley, whatever. No, she charges to the ring, gets in Amel's face. The ref is like, whoa, 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 wait till I ring the bell. And he rung the bell, and yeah, Xia Brookside looked dominant early on. Like, you have the picture there. Amel got in the rope. She's like, no, get her off me, get her off me. But then, once it started going, Amel was really dominating it, which she needed to. She needs to look strong. And what did we say? The next champion, fingers crossed, should be Meiko Satomura, a baby face. So you need to build up heels. You don't need to build up baby faces. Heels need to go against the baby face champ. So, Amel is going to be one who, could easily be a challenger at some point. And, she looked good in this, and she was a champion, they said, and I know they said she was in France and she went to Germany to get more training and stuff, so she was a champion in other smaller promotions.
Yes.
And so, she has it in her. And I think she'll be good, like you said, in a few months or so, if she really keeps, improving her game and matches. Yeah, and I like the finisher. It almost like grabbed her like she was gonna do like an exploder suplex or something, but she just kind of did like a spine buster, just like a slam. 1, 2, 3, really folded her up. Got a deep pin in there. And it was a good win for her, so to establish herself and, like I said, maybe throw her hat in the ring to challenge, the champion or something.
Exactly. So good stuff. So Amel is establishing herself as a believable heel, and then you joins like Jeannie, joins also Isla Dawn. So like you have a lot of girls that you can start. Like you said, once the champion is Meiko Satomura, then you can start feuding them. You have a few heels lined up for you. Can have
or even like a small feud. You could do Amel versus Valkyrie, who we just talked about. That could be a match, something like that.
So that will be really cool. So now let's talk about Nathan Frazier. And he just goes to show Samuels because, man, it's because of you I lost my match to Noam Dar. I think that we should have a match and stop. Don't be drawing. All of that. Show Samuels say, man, I'm used to fighting adults, and why I can fight your father, something like that, right, Paul?
Yeah.
So you see, there's gonna be a feud between the two, and that's fine. Like you said, something that I really wanna stress here is, like you said, they need to have maybe like another title or something to really fight for, because there's so many good feuds. But like if you add like the stipulation of something like number one contender or a title, it becomes even better.
Yeah, and now I'm fine if like a feud has like a reason, and this is a feud that I think is like it's okay because Noam Dar keeps getting under Frazier's skin and all that stuff. Keeps poking fun of him. Oh, you were what was it Ben Carter?
Yeah, Ben Carter. Yes,
Ben Carter. Now you're Frazier. Nobody knows who you are. You're bullshit. Blah blah blah. Like I didn't have to lie to my parents. I told them I was legit. Everything. And this feud at least has a reason for it. So I don't need this to be like a stipulation or anything like that. So this is good. And he's like, yeah, you just pretty much. He's like, you just all you worry about is fighting Noam Dar's battles. You don't worry about your own. How about you fight me? And he's like, you want it? He's like, then make it so. He's like, go get Sid Scala and get him on it. And he goes back to his crossword puzzle and stuff. So this will obviously be a really good match. Hard hitting, especially on Shaw Samuel's end. But Frazier's gonna win. I mean, and it's like not saying like, oh, it's bullshit, whatever. But that's who he needs to win. Shaw Samuels is that mid card,
exactly. Because I think and in the end, we're gonna give you a few predictions what's gonna happen with the Heritage Cup and all of that. But like we're gonna talk about towards the end. Let's tell me a little bit about Meiko Satomura. She's addressing Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray came out, super kicker. Took care of her like after she just won the gauntlet match. So she said, your actions were not be forgiven. Who do you think you are? We thought the respect was right there. Hey, you beat me this last time that we were together, but this time I'm gonna become the champion. So did you like this promo? See, Meiko is pissed. This is the first time I actually see Meiko really upset.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this was the intensity. She's like, what was that super kick about? Like you said, they both bowed. They were both like, oh, it's legit. And it's like, oh, just kidding. No, it's not legit. So you saw the heel showed her true colors in the end. So now this has the intensity. Before, it was because, Kaylee Ray said like, oh, I'm the forever champ, get used to it, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, this is good. This adds a little bit more intensity, a little bit more fire, than their first match. Because the first match I felt like just came out of the blue. They're just like, oh yeah, here we go. Here's Mako, number one contender, Kaylee Ray. And it really wasn't anything. This at least has a little bit more heat to it, built up. So I'm excited for it. And the intensity's good.
Oh yeah, it's going to add more. And like you said, that match was thrown like really quick. It should never happen. Maybe should have waited till now. But okay, we got it. What we got, it's fine. They are able to fix it when I have it again. So let's go to the Supernova Sessions, Paul, with our boy Noam Dar. Noam Dar, he's going to be with Ilya Dragunov. So he said, you know what? Let's make it let's tone it down. No, we don't need all the excitement, all of that. Ilya Dragunov has been suffering this whole time. He's changed all the thing with Walter. So let's turn it down. Let's get some candles. Let's get some relaxing music. Let's turn it into a spa. Really legit stuff. And he's just talking to Dragunov, taunting him. All of that is hey, the Walter thing, the chops. You just change after the match. What did you think of all this? Because I just found it really funny when he got the rope and all of that, and Dragunov is no, don't talk to me like that. No, that's not how I do it. Right?
Yeah, and then he got him the robe. He's like, oh, I got you a robe too, and then he couldn't find one, so he just had a kitty robe, and it had dinosaurs on it. He's like, yes, you like dinosaurs, right? And he's like, oh, well, my son does. He's like, I'll give it to him, and he keeps pretty much saying that. He's like, yeah, you say you're a changed man, but would a changed man break Mastiff's nose? Would a changed man do all this stuff that you said you did? He's like, I don't really think you're a changed man. And then Dragunov starts to get a little upset. He's like, I know what you're doing here. And he's like, pretty much, he's like, when I look at you, I see a clown. He's like, you're nothing but a clown. And he's like, me, he's like, I'm nothing but violence. I pretty much exude and personify violence. You're a clown, and this is your circus, and I don't really care. And like he said, he gives him the little dog. He's like, yo, when you feel upset, just count back from 10. Give the dog some pets, whatever. It's legit. Calm down. And I like when he says all that, you're a clown, you're an idiot. He stands up, walks away, and then he's like, oh, play my music, let's end the show, because Noam Dar even gets
music,
Noam Dar even gets pissed off. Then he's like, you don't call me a clown, blah blah blah. He's like, I kick your ass in the ring, all this stuff. And then I like when the music plays, and then Dragunov comes back and he takes the dog from him. Well, I'm gonna take I'm gonna give my son this dog too. And we're gonna see a match between these two, and we know it's gonna be good. And Dragunov, I think he has to go over in this. Unless you're going to do something where maybe he loses in a DQ. So, he snaps and beat the shit out of Noam Dar, and the ref's like, whoa, cool it. And then Noam Dar wins in a DQ. That's the only thing I could really see. But, this match is going to be good. But to me, Dragunov, he needs to go back in that title thing. But I think he only will be, though he'll be put back in that opportunity when he learns to control this rage. Yeah. Not that he snaps. It's almost like it can't be my enemy. I need to use it as an advantage.
It's like a superpower,
Yeah, exactly.
At the beginning, you need to learn how to control it so it can actually benefit you rather than go against you. But you saw the pictures. Scarlett said in 2 weeks that we're going to see Noam Dar and Ilya Dragunov, and also we're going to see Joe Coffey against Rampage Brown. So you see 2 big matches that can determine the path for all these 4 guys anyway. Like I said, the title picture, especially Dragunov, Rampage Brown, and Joe Coffey. One of these guys needs to be the NXT UK champion. Why? Because Paul already said it from the beginning. These guys are actually constantly featured on TV. And not that we want to see the champion all the time, but every 2 weeks, it will be nice to see the champion just because he's the guy that carries the company, right? So that's why we're going to see that. So
what is Walter doing? That's my main thing. What is he, if they would release a report? Oh, he's hurt. Blah blah blah. Might take him a month or 2 months to return. Okay, no problem. But it's just milk carton central. Where is this guy? Nobody knows where he is. That's a little annoying.
It's a little, like you said, it just takes away the mystique of the champion also, because it's he doesn't care. He doesn't want to be there. So, aren't you supposed to show up or defend your title every, 60 days at least, and then overnight you get stripped from the title? So, WWE and the ruling, they need to give us an explanation on that. At least we know that, Gradwell is as pissed as we are. He's not asking to see Walter, but he's asking to see Trent Seven. He wants that match right away. And what did Scarlett say, Paul?
He's like, so... No, he said, he's got to talk to... Who's
Johnny Saint.
Yeah, Johnny Saint. Yeah, because Charles Samuels came in and he's pretty much just this is bullshit. Or no, Sam Gradwell, excuse me. Sam Gradwell came in and he's like, this is one of the most unsafe work environments in the entire UK. He's like, I was beat up by Trent Seven. He's like, what the hell's going on here? He's like, I don't want to press charges. I just want a match. I just want to whoop his ass. So you talk to Johnny Saint and you get this done. And then Sid's like, oh, so, and then you see me picks up the phone and he starts dialing the phone as it ends the segment. So, I like that because they're setting up all these matches. Now I know it's, sometimes like I'm playing in like NXT or AEW where like they'll be like, hey, you want to have a match later, or Monday Night Raw? Oh, you want to have a match later tonight? Okay, but see, that's it. It's later tonight. At least they're going, hey, we'll consider it. We'll take your request. I'll talk to the general manager, and they always book it the next week or the following week. They don't book it for later that night. You know what I mean? So at least it all makes sense in a continuity of running a business.
Exactly, or like it doesn't, like the picture of the match doesn't show up seconds after like somebody won a match prior, and then they won a match with somebody else, and like that at least makes a lot more sense. So Paul, let's go to the main event, and the main event, of course, AK defending with Tyler Bate for the Heritage Cup. This was actually a pretty good match. We both love it. These guys actually gave us I would say a clinic when it comes to like skill, all of that, like professional wrestling at this purest form. I want to say, Bret Hart will be really happy from what we saw. Maybe the no selling things, not too much, but overall though, like a pretty good match when it comes to like pace, speed, counters between the two. I was really happy with the result. Maybe the winner, I was like, we thought that he was going to be the guy because they've been pushing this guy for the longest time. So what did you think overall about this?
Oh, I thought this was probably the best, or at least, the top 2 or 3 Heritage Cup matches that we've seen. I would go on to say that it was probably the best, and I had no problem with the winner, no problem with like how they booked the matches. Of course, the first match is always the feeling out process, and that's just how it is. It's like a lot of the times, and that's how it would be like in a real fight too. Because they said these guys know each other so well. They said everything was real slow in the first round and even in the second round, because they knew if they would come out of the gates, swinging, come out real fast. These guys know each other so well. As soon as somebody makes a mistake, boom, that'll leave the door open for the other guy, to get a big move and maybe even score the pinfall. So the first round, like we said, really feeling out process, nothing too crazy. And even in the second round, they as soon as the momentum gets going, Tyler Bate, he starts getting some punches, some offense in, the round ends. And it's like, okay. So, it really didn't get going for me until like the third round, at least like for the, the strikes and the big punches and everything.
Then they start going for it. Yeah. You see more like they wanted to take more risks rather than just feel each other, Yeah, I agree with you. Like you said, like right there when they won on the floor, you saw Trent Seven was by Tyler Bates' side. So that was okay. Like they're still best friends. Like you said, I'm waiting for one of them to turn on the other. That would be also like a great feud. See the guys from Monsters Mountain going against each other. But at the end, the airplane spin right there from Tyler Bate, not the UFO, the airplane spin.
And that's good. Like then when you have the airplane spin here, and he started to do it, but you saw A-Kid, he got out of it. And Tyler Bate, he hit the Tyler driver. I believe that was in the third or fourth round, and A-Kid kicked out. So a lot of time, like they know each other's moves, and even they were saying on commentary, they're like, you have to go back real far to find somebody who kicked out of that. And you have here A-Kid, he gets his submissions, and a lot of them, either Tyler Bate would be able to squeeze out or stand up, and when he had him in kind of like a headlock, or like a chokehold, he backed him into the corner to get free, and then he had his big finisher on there. I forget what he calls that submission that A-Kid was doing, but he lasted till the end of the round, and you saw Trent Seven was going to throw in the towel, and Tyler Bate, at the end of the round, he grabbed the towel and threw it into the stands. He's like, you promised me you wouldn't throw in the towel. Don't be bullshit. He's like, I won't, mate. I won't. I promise. I promise.
I won't, mate. Yeah.
Pain.
Yeah.
So this, it was really good, and it had a lot of going into the sixth round, they said, normally it's the
first time, right, that they don't nobody scores a pin.
Yeah. So I was thinking, is this going to go to the seventh round? Like, do we need to get 2 pins? But no, it's 6 rounds. And if nobody scored a pin in the 6th round, then it would just be a tie. Obviously, A-Kid would retain. And I was almost thinking that that's the way they were going to go. But they said, hey, if whoever scores it's like sudden death now in the last round.
Yeah,
whoever scores a pin, they're going to win this thing. And the match started off. Tyler Bate, I think he did like where he bounces into the ropes and he hits that big punch. So boom, so he hit him, and then A-Kid, he kind of no-sold that. Boom, a big super kick. And then you think, oh shit, they're throwing out all the heavy punches here. Like you said, there's 2 minutes left, so like barely a minute into this match, and then you see A-Kid, after he hits that super kick, he almost goes to roll him up, but then Tyler Bate kind of sits down on his roll-up attempt and, really, gets the legs in deep there. 1, 2, 3. And I thought it was going to be a kick out. Okay, they're going to keep going, whatever. But no, 1, 2, 3, boom. And then AK, the look on it. Yeah, the look on his face. I always got to go back to the, when Undertaker got pinned at WrestleMania, like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, huh? You can't see my eyes, but that's how it's supposed to be. But it's like,
or at least look.
Yeah, and that and I like it though because Trent Seven came in the ring. They celebrated. It was a good moment for them. I mean, it was legit, and like they said, Tyler Bate, the first person to hold the UK Championship and the Heritage Cup, and they didn't. I don't believe that. I know they keep saying they were tag team champs in NXT, and I'm pretty sure they weren't in NXT UK. So that's really his only thing he's missing in this brand.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be the maybe he'll be the first Grand Slam champion in NXT UK. Maybe he'll win the tag belts at some point. So who knows? I'm sure he will. He's a young guy yet, but this was a good win for him, and now it's interesting to see what they do with A-Kid.
Yeah.
Because they did. There was the show of respect. He handed him the Heritage Cup. He was like, "Oh, thanks for training me, mate. It's legit. All this stuff." And we got to see what A-Kid does, because he already went against Walter, which I feel like that was kind of a mistake to do that. Earlier when he was the champ, you could have done that now. Like, Walter comes back. A-Kid could be like, "Yeah, I lost the Heritage Cup, blah blah blah," but like, hey,
I want gold.
I proved how good I was. I was the inaugural Heritage Cup champion. Now I want Walter. This is when you could have did that match, I feel.
Yes.
And it would have made sense. But like you said, sometimes they get excited and they book things too fast, like Satomura and Kaylee Ray and all that. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see A-Kid and Walter again. But this was a really good win for Tyler Bate. Really good match, I say this for every show for NXT UK. Go watch it. Go check it out. This match was great. You don't want to, if you like wrestling, you mentioned Bret Hart. They even mentioned Bret Hart on commentary. They're like, he wrestled a lot of these heritage type matches, early in his career. So, go check this out. You don't want to miss it. Yeah, this is good.
At its purest. We don't see like gimmicky. We don't see spots. We don't see like super kicks, fiestas. We don't see.
Because the only crazy spot was when they kind of like clotheslined each other on the outside.
But there's a normal
that ended the round. But see, they only did it once. It wasn't like, oh, here's a tope suicida and a moonsault and this
we
and that.
We don't see, like they climbing and they walking through the rope, and then you see Pillman Jr. just standing right there. When is he coming? Okay. Oh yeah, I gotta see my episode one more time. No, you wait 5 seconds and then he throws. No, it's not that we're just bashing AEW. That's not the case. But it's like there's some things that are overly done. When here you just see pure wrestling. Every single move has its purpose and its meaning. So that's a way different story, and that's why we love it more. So like you said, what am I going to do now? So like, we'll see what they do with this guy. Like you said, maybe feuds or like if you want to do a number one contender, like later on for this cup, if you want to Nathan Frazier against him, right there.
Yeah, and I really hope he stays on this brand, because the way that they've, we saw that they take a lot of this talent away. I'm scared that he's just going to show up on NXT.
Yeah, there's nothing
he'll
for
just
him
be on
on
NXT and just be like, so.
There is nothing for him in NXT because, like you said, like the mid card, now with Bronson Reed, he has a lot of people right there. But like, when is he going to fit?
And the problem is, I could say, if NXT had an actual cruiserweight division, but they don't, because Santos will go against Karrion Kross, Santos will go against this guy, and then he'll go against Kushida. And Kushida will go against bigger guys and all this stuff, but he's a cruiserweight champ, so there's no real division.
And also, like, the problem is, like, on 205 Live where Kushida should be, showing up, he doesn't show up.
Well, and 205 Live is a dead show. Nobody watches it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nobody, and, the matches are just, like, put together just because they need to have commitments with the network, with themselves.
So that's why, like, not to go too off topic, but to say it in a sentence, NXT should do something like WCW did. You'll never hear me say that again. But it's where you have one match either in the middle of the show, like 9 o'clock, start of the second hour, or at 8 o'clock, first match. Oh, here's a cruiserweight division match. So we know, okay, this is for in the cruiserweight division. This is telling some stories, whatever. Then maybe you can have a promo also in the show from somebody else in the cruiserweight division, but just to kind of build it up. And that's how you could feature guys like A-Kid or something if you wanted to. But
it's true. We'll see what they do with him.
Yeah, but hopefully he stays here in the UK.
He has more to offer in the UK anyway. There's more matchups that he can have. Fraser, and like I said, for example, also Fraser against going into Tyler Bate. that could be the first defense for that, for that Heritage Cup. Nathan Fraser against Tyler Bate, right there. So at least for me, you know that you will agree with me. So we'll see what happens, family. But this is like the review for this show. Thank you so very much for being with us. Don't forget tomorrow Smackdown live review. Jean Paul, myself talking about everything with Cesaro, Roman Reigns, and a fatal 4-way for the IC belt. Where else can they find us in the social media world?
And then make sure to follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Don't forget, family, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and give the video a like so it goes higher in the rankings. You and me have one more thing that is left to say. That is...